So this is the Oz report for Saturday, October 23rd, 2021, and we're going to start with Plex, all right, and other pilot services. We talked about this earlier on stream. Plex is reaching new records every day, and this I've said this before, this can either be a supply side issue or a demand side issue, and we're seeing the volume actually dropping over the last few months while the prices are increasing. Now, at the same time, if you look at the availability in the market, this is the Adam for Eve Plex graph right here, you can see that the sell order volume has actually, since April, continuously gone down, and now there's basically no Plex left in the market. Now, what does that tell us? It tells us that not enough people are buying into the game with real cash. And that's a real issue for CCP because in the end, that's a huge revenue stream for them. Meaning, two things will happen, right? This will drive people that are relying on plexing their accounts sooner or later to either make ISK through more ISK through other ways, or they will also buy in with cash to do so. So in the end, this is going to be resolved. It can't keep climbing on forever because at some point it gets too juicy also for people to spend real ISK because they're getting so much real cash because they're getting so much ISK for their hard-earned cash. So this is going to be resolved. It's not going to be rising forever, but in the short term, this just signals a lower supply of Plex entering the game. Right? As a knock-on effect, we're seeing large skill injectors increase for various reasons. One, you need extractors to make skill injectors, and you buy those with Plex typically. And so those are just connected. If you look at the extractor prices, they're increasing. Large skill injectors, if you have a skill farm, you need Plex to run it, that increases. So these are all knock-on effect from the Plex prices. If you're sitting on large stockpiles of either injectors or extractors or Plex or multiple pilot training certificates, now is certainly a time to sell them. Because these are just prices that we haven't seen in a long time. And sure, they might keep on going for a little bit, but it's definitely not a bad time to sell at the moment. I myself have liquidated most of my stockpiles already. All right, that's pilot services. The second thing I want to talk about is gas. So if we look at gas, the gas market over the past week, you can see that all of the fullerenes from C32 to C540, they've all increased significantly in price, and all between 5 and 25%, and that with an increased volume as well, especially the lower number fullerenes have increased significantly in volume and price. So people are coming in and buying these out. What this will tell you is people are moving into production of either T3 ships or capital ships, so large scale expensive production. And while this might be a speculation move, if you look at ships like the Legion, for example, you can already see those effects. The Legion already also increased quite a little bit in price here over the last week. So you can see that either that's the reason or an effect of the gas increase. But what does that tell you as an investor? You can expect, typically we see raw material increases being followed by finished good increases. So on capital ships, those prices are all over the place anyway, but you can look at some of the T3 ships to make additional price increases over the next few weeks. Let's talk about other ships. Two ships I want to mention that are just good investments right now. The Cerberus and the Ishtar, both huge markets. they've both started rallying a little bit over the past few weeks, but I don't think they're over. So I think they're very good investments right now, especially because there's a large gap between buy and sell orders, especially in the Cerberus between 207 and 238. That's an inherent margin of 13 to 15% there. So a very nice investment at the moment, whether it's a day trade or a swing trade in the long term, because it's a popular ship that's just cheap right now. Now, let's also look at some other good items to invest in right now. Drone transceiver, huge market. Tier 2 salvage material, it's good volume, and it's currently at a buy price of 463, which is a really good place to be as an investment. You can always expect these to swing back to the 500 and 600s in the mid to long term. So this is one that I would invest in at the moment. Enhanced Ward Console as well. They've backed down from their rally. I think they're in buy territory through buy orders again. Also a huge market. Looking at high grade Amulet Omegas, very interesting. This somebody dropped a ton of these onto the market and has dropped the buy price back down to about 750 million. So yes, this is an item for the big boys and girls among investors, but this margin plus the long-term prospect of this actually recovering, because there is demand for these. It's just at the moment this is just in a lull. So I think this is, if you have the ISK and you want to make some investments, if you buy these on the buy sides, on a buy order, then the risk is actually quite limited. So I think it's a great investment. Ceramic fibers, similarly, advanced moon material. The margin is just absolutely insane at the moment. This is a 20% margin. If you discount this one order that's just there in between. Ceramic fiber is also a good investment at the moment. I'm going to finish off today's Oz report with Moongoo. Several interesting things going on. Let me start with neodymium. Neodymium has been all over the place. I've been making a killing on neodymium just because there was a buyout of the entire market because the availability of it just shrunk so much that the market was just empty. So this spiked up to 100 million in or 100,000 in price. And it has since dropped back down. But the interesting thing here is that you still have a huge margin between 60 and 72. So this is for an item that has a huge daily volume. So good trades to be made here if you can beat the competition. And so let me just finish off with 3 Moongoos that I think are good investments right now on the buy side. Cesium has dropped back down to around 10K or below. So I think Cesium is a good investment right now. Moongoo is the base for a ton of things in this game. So there's always going to be a demand for it. The question is just, is production high right now or is it low? We saw a production push right after the war in connection with the tax changes. That has since died down. But the next production push is going to come. So if you're a little bit patient and you have some staying power, then things like cesium or chromium, for that matter, could be good investments right now because they are getting close to that last turnaround point that they were in August. Thulium the same. Thulium on the buy side, we're down to 22.5. This was 27 just a couple of weeks ago. So. This is also a good swing trade between those. Yes, I'm holding a ton of these myself. I typically sell around 27 and then I buy again as soon as we get significantly below 25. And so another one here where you can make some money swing trading these on both if you're trading on the margin, or if you're buying and holding for the long term. I think these are all good investments right now. Cool. All right, we're going to return to the regular stream, a very short and to the point Oz report today. We're going to upload this to the podcast, to YouTube. If you want to catch the regular streams, it's always on Saturdays. All right. Thank you guys for being patient.